It was the summer of 1919 when my dear friend, Ethan Carter, and I decided to escape the city for a quiet holiday in Seabrook, a small coastal town nestled on the New England shore. That year, Seabrook was unusually quiet, with few other visitors. In our hotel, there was only one other guest. His name was Liam Vance. Liam was a tall, slender young man with a constant shadow of anxiety clouding his features, making him look perpetually troubled. One evening, as Ethan and I were relaxing in the hotel lounge, Liam approached our table. "Excuse me," he began, his voice hesitant. "I apologize for intruding, but I must speak with someone. Something incredibly strange has happened to me, and I need to tell someone about it. May I share my story with you?" "Of course," I replied, gesturing to an empty chair. "Please, sit down. Tell us what's on your mind." Liam sat, leaning forward eagerly. "A few days ago," he said, "I took a walk to Northwood, a small village about 5 miles from here. I brought my camera along because the old church in Northwood has a very peculiar door, and I wanted to photograph it. There are 3 wooden crowns carved into it." He paused, taking a breath. "The village pastor came out of the church while I was there. I asked him about the significance of the 3 crowns. The pastor then told me the most incredible local legend. Many, many years ago," Liam continued, recounting the pastor's story, "this part of New England was its own small kingdom. The last king of this kingdom died over 1,000 years ago. When he died, his 3 legendary crowns vanished. Local lore held that these crowns possessed a mystical power, and it was believed they were buried in separate locations to guard the coast against enemies from across the sea. About 300 years ago, one of the crowns was discovered. It was sold secretly, and its whereabouts are now unknown. It simply disappeared from history." "What about the other 2?" Ethan asked, now fully engaged. "The second crown," Liam explained, "was lost to the sea in a great storm. It was never seen again." "And the third crown?" I inquired. "Was it ever found?" "That," Liam said, his eyes glinting with a strange mix of fear and excitement, "is what I need to tell you about. There was an old family in this area, the Blackwoods. The legend says that the Blackwood family were the sworn guardians of the third crown. The last of the Blackwoods, a man named William, died just last year in 1918. He had no children. I found his grave in the Northwood churchyard," Liam went on. "I copied the inscription from his headstone. William Blackwood died December 21st, 1918, aged 28 years. Later, I was browsing in a small bookstore in Northwood and, by sheer chance, I found a dusty old book from 1740. Tucked inside were a few lines of verse. 'Nathaniel Blackwood is my name. I own the hill above the sand. All Blackwood's duty is the same, to guard the crown that guards the land. When I am dead and in my grave, and all my bones are rotten, my sons shall keep my name alive. It shall not be forgotten.'" I bought the book immediately and walked back towards Seabrook. Following the poem's clues, I found the old, dilapidated house where William Blackwood had lived. It's situated halfway between Northwood and here. Just above the house is a small hill, and on its crest a perfect circle of trees. I knew, instantly, that this was the place. "The place for what?" I asked, as Ethan and I were growing a bit weary of this long, winding tale. "The place where the third crown was buried," Liam said, his voice dropping to a whisper. "And did you find this crown?" I asked, a hint of skepticism in my voice. Liam's answer stunned us both. "I have it. It's in my room," he stated plainly. "Come and see it. Then you will believe me." Ethan and I exchanged a look of disbelief. We were convinced Liam was either delusional or a fantastic liar. Still, curiosity got the better of us. We stood up and followed him to his room. Liam led us inside and opened a large suitcase. From it, he pulled a bundle wrapped in old newspapers. As he carefully unwrapped the layers, a metallic gleam caught the light. It was a crown. It appeared to be made of silver, a simple circlet adorned with 4 large, dark jewels. Instinctively, I reached out my hand to touch it. "Don't touch it," Liam cried out, pulling the crown away from us sharply. "Why not?" I asked, startled. We're not going to take it from you. I'm sorry, Liam stammered, his eyes darting nervously around the room. It's because since I took the crown, I haven't been alone. You haven't been alone? Ethan repeated, confused. What do you mean? Then, Liam told us the rest of his story. After I found the Blackwood house, I came back here, got a shovel and a lantern, and waited for nightfall. When it was dark, I went back to the hill. I started digging a hole in the center of the circle of trees. As I was digging, Liam's voice trembled. I was certain that someone was watching me. I kept catching a glimpse of a figure out of the corner of my eye, but whenever I turned, there was nothing. The person was always just behind me. At one point, I felt a cold hand pull at my coat, but then my shovel hit something hard. I had found the crown, and at that exact moment, I heard a terrible, mournful cry right behind me. Who cried out? I asked. I couldn't see anyone, Liam answered. But I think I know who it was. He pointed to the old book on a table by his bed. Every time I return to my room, that book is open on my nightstand. I walked over to the table. The old book was open to the first page, where a name was scrawled, William Blackwood 1890. So you believe that William Blackwood is following you? I said, trying to process it. But William Blackwood is dead. It's his ghost, Liam whispered, his face pale. He won't leave me alone. He wants the crown back, but I don't think he's strong enough to take it from me directly. What are you going to do with it? I asked. I'm going to put it back, Liam said with conviction. Tonight. And if you put it back, will his ghost leave you in peace? I pressed. I don't know, Liam admitted, but I have to try. It was clear that he was deeply and genuinely terrified. Then we'll help you, I said firmly. We'll go with you tonight and put it back. As I spoke those words, a shadow seemed to flicker in the corner of the room. Liam gasped and looked absolutely petrified. Later that night, as the three of us prepared to leave the hotel, I spoke quietly to the night porter. It's a warm night, I said casually. We're going for a walk. We might be back very late. I'll wait up for you, sir, the porter replied. I won't lock the front door until you return. Is the other gentleman not staying in the hotel, then? What other gentleman? I asked. The one with Mr. Vance, the porter said. No, I replied quickly, my heart skipping a beat. I didn't mention this to Ethan or Liam, but I had seen it too. A fleeting impression of a fourth person in the room with us, a tall, thin silhouette. The walk to the Blackwood property took us about half an hour, the path running alongside the dark, lonely beach. We could see the hill silhouetted against the night sky. The sea was eerily calm, and the moon cast long shadows from behind the trees on the hill. We climbed to the summit. In our haste, we had forgotten to bring a shovel. Liam didn't seem to care. He dropped to his knees and began clawing at the earth with his bare hands. Once he had dug a deep enough hole, he placed the crown inside and quickly covered it with dirt. It's back, he shouted into the night. Will you leave me in peace now, William Blackwood? The only sound was the gentle lapping of the waves. Then, Liam turned to us, his face a mask of despair. He says, never. We escorted Liam back to the hotel. He walked in a daze, his eyes fixed on the ground. Don't worry, I tried to reassure him. Everything will be all right. Tomorrow, we'll get you on the first train to Boston. Once you're away from here, you'll forget this ever happened. He will never let me go, Liam mumbled, unconvinced. The next morning, before 7 o'clock, Ethan was knocking on my door. Let's go get some breakfast, he said. Then we'll take Liam to the train station. I dressed quickly and went downstairs, where Ethan was waiting. Have you seen Liam? I asked. He's not in his room, Ethan said. I thought he might be with you. We hurried to the front desk to speak with the porter. Have you seen Mr. Vance this morning? I asked. Yes, sir, the porter said. He went out just a few minutes ago. In fact, I thought he was with you, sir. With me? I asked, confused. Yes, sir, the porter continued. It looked like you, standing just outside the hotel, calling for him. Oh, and something strange happened in Northwood yesterday. A grave was dug up at the church. The body is missing. A cold dread washed over me. Whose grave was it? I asked, already knowing the answer. A man who used to live around here, the porter replied. A strange man named William Blackwood. Ethan and I sprinted outside. We saw Liam down on the beach. He was walking quickly, almost running, and waving his arms at someone we couldn't see. A thick fog was rolling in from the sea, and as we ran towards him, the mist grew denser. Within seconds, we lost sight of Liam, but we could see his footprints in the wet sand. The marks of his shoes were clear, and alongside them, there were other marks. They were the prints of someone who was not wearing shoes. The shape was unmistakably that of human feet, but they were feet without flesh, only the horrifying imprint of bone. We shouted Liam's name, faintly, through the fog. We thought we heard him call back to us. Then, we heard a long, blood-curdling scream. I will never forget the sound of that scream as long as I live. In the oppressive silence that followed, we froze, paralyzed by fear. We did not want to encounter the creature that Liam had met. We both knew, with absolute certainty, that Liam was dead. We moved forward slowly, cautiously. A few yards ahead, we found his body. His mouth was stuffed with sand and seaweed, and his neck was broken at an unnatural angle. And then, from somewhere deep within the mist, we heard a strange, hollow laugh. It was not the laugh of a living man. Ethan and I were utterly terrified. The police asked us endless questions, but they never discovered who or what had murdered Liam Vance. We never told them what we truly knew. They would have dismissed us as madmen. Neither Ethan nor I ever went back to Seabrook. We never went looking for the lost crown of the ancient kingdom. The crown is safe, buried on its lonely hill. We had no desire to ever again meet the ghost of its guardian, William Blackwood. That hollow, chilling laugh still haunts my nightmares.